Just getting everything, making sure everything is set up. And we are live. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome. A few cool updates this week. Things I wanted to talk about. Things I want to share with you. Things that, I think are kind of cool and I thought were worth exploring and talking about. So, let's begin. I'm doing this live, so there's always room for errors and all that good stuff. There are a few things I want to talk about today. All right, so the first thing, let's start out with, okay, so my website, because you can see it in the background here, right? It's up on the screen. For those of you just listening, you're not going to be able to see it. I'm not really going to show anything other than talking about it. But I've updated a bunch of stuff on my website. I finally, I realized that my resume hadn't been updated on my website since I think it might have said 2016 or 2017. So we're talking a long time ago. So website's been updated and everything. And let me just pop right in here so that I can make sure I can see any chat if anyone's asking me any questions or anything. Yeah, totally. Website updated, resume updated. So my resume's updated, and the not funny thing about my resume is I probably missed about I don't know, 5 things. I probably did some presentations that I forgot about. I probably have some conferences up there that I forgot about and stuff like that. I'm really bad about remembering what I've actually done. I think most people are like that. They just totally forget what they've done. So that's me. I totally forgot. I have my presentations updated finally. I have my publications updated. I've updated things about my teaching, my resume. I also went ahead and so all the videos I've been creating a lot of videos on Captivate and just learning instructional design and Dreamweaver, Photoshop. And I organized all those videos into one place on my website, so it's really easy. If you click on the Captivate link, here are all my Captivate videos just in one place. Obviously, if you're subscribed to me on YouTube, you can always go in and see that kind of stuff. But it's super easy to now just be able to go on my website and see all that stuff. I also updated my contact link, so it's much easier to contact me on Twitter or LinkedIn or YouTube. Facebook, Instagram, and obviously Facebook is for my personal friends or family. So, I usually do not accept anyone on there that I'm not going to dinner with. So I don't accept quite a lot of people. But so if you want to find me and connect, always connect with me on LinkedIn. That's my more professional page that I use. So yeah, my website is updated. I really needed to do it because some things were way outdated and some things were pretty updated, but a lot was way outdated. I've been slowly trying to keep up with my blog more and add more posts to it, especially as I've been creating a lot more YouTube content. I've been kind of letting the blog slide. So what I've been trying to do since this semester just started is add more posts, at least several per week, just explaining, especially using things that I'm talking about in my videos, explaining them more and using them more in depth. Reminding me of videos, let me talk about some of the stuff I created this week. And then I have some cool some cool things to talk about that I want to share with you. So, okay, let me go to my dashboard here and talk about some of the things I've been working on this week. Some of the cool videos I've created. All right, so, okay, oh, here we are. Just getting to it here, so sorry about that. Let's see. Wow, I create a lot of stuff sometimes. Okay, so this week, first of all, I created a couple new videos on Captivate. One of the things I've been wanting to do for a while is play with virtual reality and Captivate. And so what I did is I spent a significant amount of time really playing around with the new version of Adobe Captivate and playing around with their virtual reality feature. I did some videos on it. It's a really, really awesome feature. I loved playing around with Captivate virtual reality. Super fun, really cool. I liked it a lot. Let's see, was there anything I didn't like about it? Oh yeah, there were a few things. So let's see here. Overall, it's really cool. And it works. So here's what's weird about it. The Captivate VR feature works amazing on the internet. So like as a web page, the VR is great. Like, you know, if you were on like a realtor site, you could like scroll around the house and stuff. It actually works really good. I could use it for training, all kinds of stuff. It works perfectly and beautifully for that. When I actually took it in the VR headset, not so good. Some of the problems were that it's only made for a few headsets and they're older editions. Like this is the new Oculus Quest, totally not made for this. So like that was a little disappointing, and you know, it wasn't great for that. But I still, even though it didn't work great in the VR headset, like the hotspots didn't work and the images were a little distorted, because it works so well on the web, I gave it a big thumbs up, because I think it's more even convenient for a lot of training to probably take place even using 360 cameras and VR on the web without this. You know, this is only really needed like for more military type training, but not necessarily like if I'm doing office type training. I can do some really cool stuff in VR that's just on the web, and it's much easier for everyone to access. So I liked that a lot. I thought it was a really cool feature. I also talked a lot about, I did a video on importing PowerPoint to Captivate. Just kind of the stuff that you have to look out for, and how not all the features always work when you import them, but some do. So just paying attention to that kind of stuff. But I did play around with Captivate a little bit. I did some stuff. So I had some other videos. One of the video was on, you know, your resume, why you should be sending your resume in the PDF. And then I spent some time this week developing videos on a software called OBS. I use OBS all the time. In fact, if you're watching this, I'm actually recording this using OBS. I use OBS all the time. I really like it. Great piece of software. One of my favorite pieces of software to use. I use it for streaming games. So it's really like a streaming game software, but you can use it for like streaming a video to YouTube like I'm doing right now. So I created some tutorials on how to use OBS, because when you first open it up, it just looks complicated because it's different, but it's actually a super simple piece of software to use. I'm going to be using it in my gaming class this semester. I want the students to go in and play around with OBS a little bit, so hopefully they do that. So definitely, you know, take a look at those videos if you're interested in learning OBS, because I really think that it's a really cool piece of software. It does some of the things like Camtasia does and Captivate does to an extent, but it's 100% free. And it's very powerful. It does a lot of really cool stuff. It's great for streaming and good for recording video as well. So, cool piece of software. Check it out. All right. Let's talk about some other stuff here. All right. Just let me see where I am time-wise, how I'm doing. All right. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Let me just refresh this here, and let's start talking about some of the stuff that I am up to and doing. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's go to, first of all, I think this is huge. If you're watching on the screen, you're seeing this. Let me just verify that you're seeing it. Yeah, you totally are. So this is, and if you're not, you're listening, I'll just say it. So, you know, last night we had our orientation for my master's program. And, oh man, this just drives me nuts. Last year, during orientation, one of the students found this awesome deal for Camtasia and Snagit, the 2018 version, for $20. I mean, this is the piece of software that retails for hundreds of dollars for $20. Amazing deal. Couldn't believe it. It was on like, you know, slickdeals.com or one of those sites like that. So tons of my students bought it. Awesome deal. I get it from my university because I use it all the time for work. But man, if I didn't, $20 for Camtasia, I would have bought it in a second. And I just snapped, and it's funny because I've been teaching not to get too off track, but I've been teaching my 8-year-old. Seriously, like we've been learning how to snap our fingers because, you know, kids like love doing it. I totally remember like as a kid being like, oh, I got to snap. In about 10 minutes of me teaching him how to do it, he was doing it. He can get it with one hand, not the other, but he's got it. I mean, it's awesome. It's amazing how kids learn the cool stuff they can do. Okay, back on track with a snap. Okay, so since we had that cool Camtasia deal last year that was $20, I thought, maybe there's another deal out there this year. And there are some deals out there. They're not nearly as good as the $20 deal from last year. That was like, I don't even know how that existed because it was such a good deal. So I've done some snooping around today to see what I could find, because I had some students ask me this and I thought maybe there's something. So I did find some sales. Now, for students at academicsuperstore.com. Academicsuperstore.com. I found Camtasia and Snagit, the 2018 version, for $96. That's the best I could find. That's still a really good deal. And honestly, if I was a student, would I pay it for $96? Probably not. I'm cheap. I'm a cheapo, so I don't like to buy stuff unless I like really, really want it and need it. Now, knowing me professionally now, how much I love creating video, I would buy it in a heartbeat because I love the software and I need it. But as a student for a class, $96, it's a lot. If you're going to use it a lot in your classes, this is the cheapest you're going to get it for. So it's totally worth it. I think you get a free 30-day trial, and you can actually, as a student, use like Captivate 2019, Captivate 2018, Captivate 9, and you can use like several versions of the 30-day trial, so you can actually get like a few months out of using different versions. The funny thing about Captivate is they totally didn't update. Like, the software updates aren't that significant in my opinion between like at least version even 8 and like 19. Like, there are updates and stuff, but you can still do the basics. You can record and edit your videos. So like, there are some ways to get a few months of the software. And you can probably find older versions for cheaper. I specifically looked for Camtasia 2019. That's a really good deal though, $96, and you get Snagit. So is it worth it? Well, it's the best deal I could find. I just wanted to bring it to you, show you kind of what I've been doing, what I found. Okay. Sorry, just taking a breath. Whenever I talk live, it's like always so much different than creating a video. Because when I create a video, like, you never know this as, and this is like a, educational. So, when you don't think about like how people create videos, some people might think that like when you see a YouTube video or you just like, it's a one-shot deal, it's one take, but it's totally not like that. Like, there'll be time, maybe this is a good topic for like a future video, is that like, when I'm going through and creating my videos, I will pause for like a minute. I'll just like be like, stop, do something else, send an email. And sometimes it's just to gather my thoughts. Sometimes I need a drink of water. I'll get up, come back. And then I just go back through and edit that out later. You have no idea as the viewer, but it happens all the time. I'm doing it all the time. Sometimes I just say something and I'm like, did I really just say that? That's why I almost don't like going live. Because live, you can't edit what you're saying. You can only edit what you're saying when you're going back and watching it. So when I see reporters like making mistakes and saying something wrong, I feel for them because I totally get it. When I'm creating my videos, I say things that I didn't necessarily, it didn't come out right. Sometimes it just, I said it and my thought just wasn't complete or wasn't correct and I need to pause and think. I can edit that stuff out so easily. Going live, like right now, totally can't do that. Which also means I need to prep this live portion a little bit more. Like, I need to have some topics to talk about. I'm not a big prepper, but I knew there were certain topics I wanted to talk about today. That's how I do it. I don't think someone can start out that way. It takes more experience. And, I've been teaching for years and years, being able to go in a class with 5 topics in my head and be able to talk about them for an hour. So you kind of learn how to do that. All right. Next thing. And this one is huge in my opinion. World of Warcraft Classic was just released this week. So, if you're like, well, what is that? No idea what that is. Or you're like sitting there like, if you're like sitting there playing it already. Like, yeah, we're playing it. Okay. So, World of Warcraft, as you know, huge video game. Very popular, big subscriber game. This is one of the few games that still runs under the old subscriber model, which basically means like you pay a monthly fee to play the game. A lot of the newer games that are coming out are all free to, you don't pay for the game, and they're free to play. And what that means is that there's stuff, all kinds of microtransactions in the game. Like I can buy an outfit for my character called a skin, or like something, things like that. And they actually make a killing doing that. But World of Warcraft is one of the few games that still has the old subscription model and is still making billions of dollars off this thing. But what they did, so you can see I'm on the website, it says 15-year anniversary. So when World of Warcraft came out, they never changed, they never came out with like World of Warcraft Part 2. What they did is they expanded World of Warcraft. So, you know, like, I think about like a movie, like we have Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Instead of having Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, what they've done is they've expanded Part 1 more and more and more and more and more again. You know, we had like WoW Classic is what it's called, and then they expanded it with the Burning Crusade, then Wrath of the Lich King, and then Cataclysm, and then Mists, and then I can't even remember what Battle of Azeroth. Like there's a few of them now. I can't remember all of them, but I have played them all. So the thing is, when World of Warcraft first came out, it was a way different game, because not only did they expand the game by adding new content into the current world, they changed like big things in the game. Like in Cataclysm, there was like this huge world event where like the world like split and broke up, and like different things, like it was almost like earthquakes happened everywhere, and like the world all of a sudden looked a little different. But within that, like they changed a lot of things. So like when I first played World of Warcraft, like if you wanted to join a dungeon with a group of people, you had to find them. And then eventually what they did is they got something called the Dungeon Finder, which is like you press a button and it puts you in a group. So the game has changed over 15 years. The game's changed significantly. I mean, it's vastly different than what it's like looking at technology 15 years ago versus the game has changed significantly. You know, someone looking at it almost wouldn't think it's the same game because so much has changed. So there was a huge petition online years ago for the company Blizzard to bring back the original World of Warcraft, referred to as Classic WoW or Vanilla World of Warcraft, like the original, without all this stuff. Because what happened is people who had played originally and really hardcore complained the game was too easy, or they just didn't like changes. You know, people always complain about change, whether it's good or bad. Some of the changes were bad, some were good, but you can't make everyone happy always. So there was such a huge outpouring of support for this classic version of World of Warcraft that Blizzard went ahead and has made the game. They remade World of Warcraft. I mean, they had to upgrade it for computers and stuff, but it's the original game, World of Warcraft Classic, and you can now play it. How do you play it? There's nothing to even buy because, I mean, you have to own World of Warcraft to play it anyway. So, but you do have to pay for the subscription in order to play it. But you can go in and play World of Warcraft Classic. I'm like on the fence right now. It's like, okay, do I pay? I'm like big against like paying a subscription fee to play a video game. World of Warcraft, I mean, it's like $15 a month. There are some cheaper deals if you buy like 6 months and stuff like that, but $15 a month, that's a little much to play one game. So I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to go in and relive World of Warcraft Classic. And I almost wonder, like, am I going to be angry and hate it because I'm so used to the new one? Although I haven't played the game in probably a year, since the last version came out, which I believe was about maybe 8 months ago, a year ago. I can't even recall. But I did play it for a little while then. Usually when they release a new expansion, I go in and play it. But big news that it did come out. Really cool stuff. A lot of people are really excited. I've talked to students that are excited about it. I'm pretty excited about it. I want to go in. I'm just not sure I'm going to do it. But it just came out this week, so you're probably going to hear people talking about it. It's really exciting. Definitely something to check out. Those are my updates for today, y'all. You know, that's kind of where I am. Semester just started last week, so we're in week 2, so this is like super busy time. I'm like doing like a billion things on campus right now with my job and dealing with things, and we had orientation last night, and I have stuff coming up, and it's like a pretty exciting time, fun but busy and all that good stuff. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you for watching. Hopefully, you have a chance to check this video out or listen to it via podcast, and have a good day, everyone. See you next time.